Hi, Maria,
I'm Carl.
and we're here to debunk myths about eating disorders.
The first myth is that eating disorders is a 21st century phenomenon. However, it can be dated way back. One of the first cases of anorexia nervosa being the bearded Saint Wilgefortis, who lived around 700 to 1000 AD, and bulimia nervosa can be traced back to the ancient Romans and Greeks.
In 1873, Sir William Gull coined the term anorexia nervosa. In 1979, Gerald Russell is credited as the founding father of bulimia nervosa just because he published 30 case studies. He was also credited with a defining feature which is called the Russell sign.
Eating disorders is not actually one thing. There are actually different types. Pica is a consumption of non-nutritional and even non-foods, while rumination is a repeated regurgitation of food. ARFID is a focus on specific foods and leading to lack of nutrition. Anorexia is a restriction and intense fear of weight gain. Orthorexia is the overfocus on the perfect body. Bulimia is the uncontrollable eating and purging, while binge eating is just the uncontrollable eating.
There are many psychiatric disorders that are often comorbid with eating disorders, such as suicide, social anxiety, bipolar, depression, and PTSD.
The myth with eating disorders is that it only affects a person's weight. However, malnutrition affects every part of the body. In the cardiovascular system, malnutrition can lead to bradycardia, the decrease of heart function, and tachyarrhythmia, a heart attack. In the nervous system, it could lead to a permanent brain damage, causing other psychiatric disorders. In the gastrointestinal system, it also leads to decreased rectal muscle mass, causing constipation. In the reproductive system, if malnutrition occurs during development, it halts development. It could be permanent. If it occurs during development, women stops having periods while men decreases sex drive. In the dermatological system, the decrease in body temperature leads to redevelopment of body hair.
Social cultural theories used to explain eating disorders based on the culture's ideology and how they influence the individual's behavior. There's a big gender gap in the prevalence of eating disorders. The ratio of females to male is 10 to 1. Ethnic minorities have a higher rate of eating disorders when they are more closely associated with the majority Western culture. The pressures of Western culture have a higher impact in minorities because it is harder for them to attain the Western beauty ideal. The tripartite model disbars the myth that eating disorders are solely based on the media. Factors such as peers, parents, and the media distort one's body image. This is motivated by the social learning theory where the society tends to reward conformists and punish misfits. Objectification theory proposes that as the society objectifies women, women begin self-objectification, placing greater value in how they seem to others. Although less common, this also happens to men. The ideal image can be impossible to attain.
It is also a myth that eating disorders does not involve problems in the brain. Many people with eating disorders tend to have psychological trait in childhood of perfectionism, which magnifies into an eating disorder. The reward circuit in anorexia patients are lower that they don't feel a reward to eat. When they receive dopamine, they feel anxious instead of rewarded.
Thank you for listening. Hopefully you know more about eating disorders.
Created using Powtoon.